Today we'll learn about current issues in autism research, the kind of great works that are going on at the New England Center, and also have a chance to chat and network with other people in the world of autism treatment and research.
It's because of you, that the people in this room, that the center is always able to think forward and think big in order to achieve all the things we want to do to transform the lives of children with autism everywhere.
I wonder what my life will be like for me in high school, college, and what my profession will be. I wonder what my family life will look like when I'm an adult.
NECC is really taking its program outside of the United States and throughout the world. So we believe, especially being on the board, that we're actually at an inflection point of some explosive and powerful growth with our ACE curriculum and encyclopedia.
I always talk about my son, and I thought this story might be getting old, and then I decided, no, it will never get old, because I'm talking about a kid who I'm very proud of, and so much of it due to New England Center. And his latest triumph is he's using the phone. Now, so far, he's only using the phone to call his therapist and ask if he can have Starburst and Skittles. But as they said to me today, it's all about motivation, and so it's working. That's his latest triumph, and he's doing wonderful. So before I go any further, you're going to hear a lot, I think, of similar stories like that, and things, amazing things that kids and individuals on the spectrum are capable of doing, thanks to the great work that the New England Center does. So I ask you to remember those stories, and when you leave here today, tell someone else. Tell someone else about what the New England Center does, because we need to keep spreading that gospel, as it were.
The center has grown from 250 kids being served to more than 1,200 children whose program is prescribed by the Autism Curriculum Encyclopedia as we speak, literally around the world.
So we're going to try to make this the intellectual hub of the world when it comes to autism research, professional development of curriculum. And we think it's going to have an enormous impact, not just on the lives of the NECC kids, but on children everywhere and families everywhere.
You know what autism spectrum disorders are, and you probably don't know what causes autism. We don't either. This remains largely a mystery. 5%, physicians agree that 5% of children with a diagnosis on the spectrum have changes in copy numbers of DNA. So there is a genetic basis, a clear genetic basis, in 5% of children. Perhaps as many as 20% of children also have DNA alterations. But for the remaining 80% of children, what causes the disorder is unknown. A complex combination of genes and environment, perhaps 1,000 genes, perhaps more, perhaps fewer, and as still unknown environmental factors.
There are 3 clinical trials ongoing now in humans. The results aren't out yet. Early studies look maybe promising, but the controlled trials will be the key to that. And there are many new targets in those pathways that are being developed. What will these medications do? Well, it's not going to be a quick fix. You're not going to give somebody a pill and it's just going to disappear. It's not going to be like in the movie Awakenings where everything gets better. All these medications are going to do is allow these brain cells to work properly and level the playing field. Education and behavioral training are going to be paramount to getting good outcomes with these medications, because all you'll be doing is creating normal pathways for these cells to connect. So the work that's happening here at NECC is going to be critical to teaching those kids the proper things.
I'm also just going to say, I can't resist saying this, that in the 12-monthers and the 14-monthers and the 15-month-olders who I have diagnosed, which is actually my specialty, very young infants, the only children that I have seen who have what I call remediated autism spectrum disorder or remediated PDD are children whom we immediately immersed in an intensive ABA program. And because of my relationship with New England Center for Children, they all went through the New England Center for Children. So, for me, that early intensive intervention has really shown itself to be incredibly valuable. It's proof of the pudding with patients that I see all the time.
Advocacy work, but I will tell you on a national level that we talk about Massachusetts all the time as the model. for services and supports and legislation. The bill that was passed here and signed by Governor Patrick was really model legislation that we use when we go state to lobby other governors and other legislatures. And the same is true with a lot of the programs and supports and services you have here. So we're looking at our housing initiative, it's our discussion that's underway right now in the legislature here to use as a model.
But I think it's so important because, the community at large, the public at large, needs to know that our autism community is working together. Because the only thing that we really care about is autism. Finding a cure for autism, bringing our kids with autism up to their personal best, doing everything we can to enhance the lives of families that are affected by autism, and doing it together and seeing how we can link in, bringing in everyone's expertise is critical.
Guilt and helplessness are the nagging companions of any parent. A particular curse for a father like me whose expectations exceeded my common sense, and who for years had missed and ignored signs that his child needed help. So 6 months prior to that party, Tyler was diagnosed relatively late in life with Asperger's syndrome. As you all know, Asperger's is a mild form of autism marked by a person's lack of social graces. What many of us do naturally to communicate and connect with one another, Aspies need to be taught. Tyler's on the mild side of Asperger's, which as you know is on the mild side of autism. He's got a far easier road than most autistic children. Therefore, my wife and I have a far easier road with him than most parents. But I think the mistakes that I made as a parent are instructive because they're universal. I let my outsized expectations get in the way of my parenting. Thanks to the Asperger's diagnosis and a plan hatched by my wife, Lori, later on, I stopped raising the child I wanted Tyler to be and embraced the one that I had.
Last but not least, I would like to talk to you about is the future. So, what will I do next? I'm trying to choose the post-high school program. I take tours of the schools I'm visiting. I'm considering. I have to find out what classes I can take and what kinds of sports I can play. Are there dorms? It is kind of exciting and scary to think about. I hope my time at the NECC school is helping me become more independent, just like NECC did. Thank you very much, and here are all 5 pictures I added.